the day he dropped dead. "Mom, you're wool gathering again. You aware how much you do that?" Philip took a sip of his coffee, made a face, dumped the remainder in the sink, and refilled from the carafe that kept coffee hot. Maybe yes, maybe no. Her awareness, that is. At times, grief did strange things to one's mental stability. I do know one thing for sure. Well, other than God is in his heaven and... She had to stop. She used to finish that line with, "and all is right with the world." But that wasn't so true any longer. Or at least those times that missing Paul broadsided her like an 18-wheeler. In a skid. On ice. She sucked in a breath and blew it out, rounding her cheeks to make it blow better, a trick she had learned through the grieving. Her shoulders dropped, but at least her legs kept sturdy. She swallowed and started again. "Your dad and I promised each other we would keep this place for our kids and our grandkids. No matter what happens in this messed-up world, you would all always have a place to come back to. A place that could at least provide food and haven no matter what else was going on." She watched him sigh and wag his head. "Philip, we are not in arrears on anything. There is money in the bank, albeit not a great deal. The business, while not growing like we'd appreciate, is still keeping us all busy. We are healthy, and I don't ever want to have this discussion again. Not with you, not with your brother." She kept her voice even, in spite of the trembling that seized her mind and body. She did not leap across the counter and shake him until his teeth rattled, or bang her head against one of the log walls, or run screaming down to the dock and throw herself in the calm waters of Lake Barnett. Had any of those things worked, or she became seriously demented, the latter of which was the most possible, she might have given them a try. Especially in the dark nights when the empty bed, the empty closet, or her empty arms overwhelmed her. Those nights, when God seemed an impossible dream, and alone was the only sound she heard. She asked, "Does Travis have baseball today?" She loved the way Philip's older son took everything so earnestly. "No, but he and Davy are playing catch in the backyard, practicing." Philip shrugged and set his coffee mug in the sink. "You realize if you lived right next door over there, you'd already know that. I'll tell Tom we're not selling the heavy equipment after all." The grin he sent her over his shoulder made her pick up a dish towel and throw it at him. She missed Philip, who ducked aside and left, but almost got Miss Minerva, who was just padding into the kitchen. The cinnamon tiger with fluffy fur leaped up onto the counter and stared at her. "Sorry, Minerva. I didn't mean you." She stroked Minerva from ears to tail a couple times, currying forgiveness. Tom and Philip seemed to be in agreement. What about their little sister Lillian, who seemed to love her career, teaching, that she had embarked on just before her father died? Lillian, the apple of her father's eye, and Lynn's. And now her father would not be there to walk his daughter down the aisle, if and when she got around to marrying. "Stop it, just stop it." Lynn slammed her coffee cup on the counter. The cup shattered. Coffee with cream flew up and out, raining on counters, sink, cupboards, the floor, and the front of her white t-shirt. Her new white t-shirt, with the Happy Birthday Grandma and their signatures on the front. The one given to her by her grandkids, who had painted the front with their handprints in various bright colors of paint. And now coffee-spotted. Tears not only rained down her cheeks, but also spurted from her eyes like a spring in full spate. Sobs drove her into the laundry room, where she pulled the shirt over her head, sprayed it with stain remover, and ran cold water into the machine to let it soak. "Please, Lord, don't let my shirt be ruined. Please, please." She slammed the lid of the machine and sank down on the bench in the combination laundry and mudroom.